So, Reanimal shows Tarsier sticking to the style they understand best, but without trying to recreate Little Nightmares all over again. And that's honestly a smart move, because the easy move would have been to just make Little Nightmares but again. Instead, they kept the core feeling, tension, strange environments, minimal storytelling, and shifted the tone slightly to make it its own thing. Now the question is if it's worth the $40. That's the big debate right now, but to answer that properly, we need to break the game down first. I won't spoil anything major, because this is one of those games where the experience matters more than knowing details ahead of time. So, you play as a brother and sister trying to find their missing friends. That's the setup. Simple. From there, you move through this ruined island by foot and sometimes by boat, and that boat mechanic is actually one of the better additions. Being out on open water changes the feeling. It gives the world scale. It's not just tight corridors and buildings anymore. You feel exposed, small, and very alone. That sense of scale feeds directly into how the world feels overall. It's worn down. Flooded areas, collapsing structures, broken machinery. Unlike Little Nightmares, which leaned more into a twisted fairy tale vibe, Reanimal feels grounded. Like something went wrong here a long time ago, and no one ever came back to fix it. The game doesn't explain much either. There's no character narrating events or dumping lore on you. You're expected to notice things yourself. Visual clues, background details, small environmental hints. Some people will love that. Some will say it's too vague. Personally, I prefer when a game lets me figure things out instead of spelling everything out in cutscenes. Visually, it's strong without trying too hard. Each area has its own mood through lighting and color, but it's subtle. Nothing feels random. Everything feels placed with intention. There are collectibles too, masks and hidden items, and they're tucked away in clever spots. Not impossible to find, but not handed to you either. Now, when it comes to gameplay, things will feel familiar if you've played Little Nightmares. You move through environments, solve small puzzles, avoid enemies, and run when things escalate. There are a few bigger encounters that almost feel like mini-boss moments. The puzzles aren't difficult. They're there to control pacing and keep momentum going. Where the tension really spikes is during the chase sequences. Some of them are genuinely intense. A couple might feel predictable if you know the genre well, but they're executed cleanly. Movement feels heavier this time, less floaty. That weight actually makes escape scenes more stressful because you don't feel overly agile. The co-op is a real highlight. I played it with my brother for around 6 hours. Yeah, some people finished it in 3, but we took our time. Explored, messed up, died more than we should have. That's part of the experience. Having 2 characters changes how you approach situations. You're not just thinking about yourself, you're thinking about spacing, timing, staying together. It adds subtle pressure without the game forcing it. As for the story and the ending, Reanimal doesn't wrap everything up neatly. It leaves space for interpretation. It doesn't sit you down and explain what everything meant. Some people will see that as unfinished. I see it as consistent. The tone stays the same from beginning to end, mysterious, slightly unsettling, never fully explained. Now, is it perfect? No. It doesn't reinvent horror platformers. It doesn't introduce some groundbreaking mechanic. It refines what already works. Which brings us back to the price. $40 for a short experience. For me, I bought it to enjoy the atmosphere, the tension, and the vibe, and that's exactly what I got. It didn't feel dragged out, it didn't feel padded, it felt focused. And with 3 DLC chapters coming, the first one dropping this summer, there's clearly more planned for this world. Apparently, we'll see different children on the same island, which means more lore and more theory material. And if you were around for the Little Nightmares theories, you already know how fun that can get. And forgot to mention that the deluxe edition includes the DLC at $60 total. And if you enjoy tight, atmospheric experiences that leave room for interpretation, Reanimal delivers. It doesn't try to be bigger than it needs to be. It just knows what it is, and sticks to it. So yeah, it surely is worth the money. And I'll definitely be diving into the lore in future videos. So if you like this review, subscribe, because we're going deep into this island.